important thing to remember. You can only add and subtract pronumerals that are the same. We call them like terms. You can only add and subtract like terms. When you're multiplying, what do you have to remember? Anyone remember? That's right, the letters stack up. Yeah, that's right. So you multiply any numbers together and any letters build up. And an x times an x would make an x squared, that kind of thing as well. Division, you divide the numbers and the letters can cancel off. All right, so with that in mind, we're going on to the next part, which is expanding algebraic expressions. That means we want to get these things out of brackets. We want to get rid of the brackets. Now, this is the formula that you often see in textbooks. If I want to expand a bracket b plus c, to expand it out, believe it or not, you actually have to multiply. Okay, you multiply whatever is out the front. So in this case, I have an A. I multiply the A with the B. And that's how you get A times B, that first part of working out over there. Then I have a plus sign in the middle. So you have this plus sign here. And then I multiply A times C, which is how you get A times C. Now we know that we don't normally write times signs. So this is how we prefer to write it. We put the A times B, we put them together to be AB, plus A times C is just AC, putting them next to each other. Now, I don't expect you to be showing this line of working out. I think it's actually easier if you go straight to this one. Okay, so let's practice. To expand, 2 bracket A plus 5. Whatever is out the front, the 2, you multiply it by the first thing in the bracket. 2 times A. We don't do times signs, so we just go 2A. Does that make sense? 2 times A is 2A. Yeah? Now, in the bracket, I have a plus sign. So that means I'm going to need a plus sign next. And then I multiply the 2 with the second thing in the bracket. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so basically what it means is each of these things inside the bracket have to multiply by that 2. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's try it again. For B, we have a 7 at the front, bracket A minus 2. Clayton, can you write these down, please, as we go? We do 7 times by A. What is that? 7A. Great. Now, in this bracket, I have a minus sign. So that means I'm going to have a minus sign in between. Then I do 7 times by 2, which is 14. Pretty easy, right? Let's do it again. Okay, minus signs. Minus signs always make things more complicated. Okay, so see how you got a minus sign at the front of that bracket? That's when they can start to make things messy with knowing whether they're plus and minus signs in the middle. So what we do, same process, we go minus 3 times m. How do I do that? Just minus 3 and m. Now, normally in the first 2 questions, I just went, oh, there's a plus sign here, so I'm going to put a plus sign there. Or there's a minus sign, so it's a minus sign. But if there is a minus sign at the front of your bracket, when you times it to the second one in here, it changes whatever is in there. So if that's a plus, it's going to change it to be a minus. And that's because, if you remember way back to year 7 when you did integers, minus 3 times a positive 2, a negative number times a positive number makes a negative answer. Okay, so minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. So just be careful of minus signs like that. Let's try it again. For D, the only thing at the front of that bracket is a minus sign. Remember, that's not like a 1. It's like we just have an X by itself. It just means there's a 1 in front of it. So that's really a minus 1 that I'm timesing with A. What would that be? Yeah, negative A is the shortest way to write it. You could write negative 1A, but we don't need to write the 1. The minus 1 times the 3. What's that going to be? Yes, very good. That minus sign at the front with the positive 3 made a negative 3 for that second one. Okay, part E. 2 times A is 2A, beautiful. There's a plus sign, but no minuses complicating this one. And now I do 2 times 3B, which is 2 times 3 is 6, and the B. So you remember all your multiplying rules. Multiply the numbers, letters collect up. F, putting another minus sign in there again. Minus 2A times 5A. First of all, times the numbers. What is minus 2 times 5? Minus 10, very good. What about the A's? A times A is? Very good, Zali, well done. A squared. Okay, now for the second one. I've got minus 2A times minus 3. Minus 2 times minus 3 makes? Positive, very good, Will. Positive 6. Anything else? Yeah, an A. Because I have that A from the front that I'm timesing. It's 2A that I was timesing with the 3, wasn't it? Great work, well done. Most of your questions are going to be like those ones. Okay, just expanding the bracket out. There are a couple of questions, I think on your test maybe I put one in. There will be some questions like these ones here, just a few, where you have other things in there as well. So in this first one, the 5 is not part of the bracket, it's just sitting out the front. So we're going to leave it there and expand the bracket as normal, like we did in the last couple of questions. So 5 sits out the front. The minus 2 is multiplying into that bracket. So what is minus 2 times A? Minus 2A, excellent. Then minus 2 times minus 3? Positive, really good. You're getting the hang of the minus signs, well done. Now, these questions have an extra step because once I've expanded that out, there are some like terms that I can collect. Remember, if things have the same letters, or in this case, no letters at all, then they can be like terms and they can be collected. So the 5 and the plus 6, neither of them have letters, we can add them together. What is 5 plus 6? 11, very good. The minus 2A, it's not a like term because it has an A, the other ones didn't, so it's different, it sits on the end. So that's doing the addition part. So all our little things are coming together here. We had to multiply to expand out the brackets, and then we had to do an addition to help us simplify afterwards. Fun times. All right, one more question. We're going to expand 2 sets of brackets. This is definitely on the hard end of the questions here. So we're going to multiply 4 times m is 4m minus in the bracket 4 times 2n is 8n. Excellent, good job. Then this second one, remember that's a minus, we put a little 1 in there to help us. We're going to expand a minus 1 into that second bracket. So minus 1 times 2m. Negative. Very good, yes. And negative 1 times n. Negative 1n or just negative n. Okay, we've done the expanding part. We got rid of the brackets. Now we're looking for like terms. Which ones can go together? The 4m and minus 2m. 4 minus 2 is 2, so they make 2m. But these ones are like terms as well. Minus 8n and minus 1n, which makes, wrong way. No, not timesing. Minus 8 minus another 1. Minus 9. Minus 9n. Minus 9n. Yep. All those minus signs. All the deal with those minus signs. All right, so that's it. That's what we're practicing on page 13.